Our guest today hardly needs an introduction, but we will give him a brief one. Most people would find immense satisfaction in their lives having accomplished a single item off of Kinky Friedman's list of doings. In music, he's been on the Grand Ole Opry and Saturday Night Live stages and toured with Bob Dylan. With his writing, he's published novels and regularly opined for Texas Monthly. And in politics, he has made prominent runs for elected office that in this state have garnered attention, but certainly have also garnered a national spotlight. Tonight in downtown Bryan, he'll be bringing his unique brand to the Village Cafe. A $30 ticket will get you into the show at 7:30, but for an additional $25, you can go to a meet and greet with him at 6 o'clock, and all those meet and greet proceeds are going to go to KEOS Community Radio to help fund their efforts. Kind enough to stop by our studios as well and bring a little bit of a new project about a week and a half old. Is that right, Kinky?
That's right, yeah. This is Kinky Friedman's Man in Black Tequila. Our tequila salutes Zorro, Paladin, and Johnny Cash.
But yourself as well, obviously, as a fellow Man in Black.
Well, you know, those three guys had more than just wearing black. They had a moral clarity. They knew right from wrong, and they knew to do something about it, which is sadly lacking in Washington today, I think. And
this, in addition to being a business venture, is also something close to your heart because a lot of the proceeds are going to go to the Utopia Ranch.
Yeah, that's also true. And this is the best Mexican mouthwash I've ever drank in my life. I mean, this is great stuff. So if you can't find it in your favorite place, just ask for it, and it'll be there soon. So that's really, we eschew all methods of the 21st century.
Sure.
We distill this stuff in copper instead of stainless steel,
right,
and all that sort of thing. So it's great tequila. The other night I took about 5 shots of it, and I got so high I needed a step ladder to scratch my ass. But it was it's great stuff. Highly recommend it.
We'll talk about the music here in just a moment. I do want to get your take on the political scene as well. This is actually the first time that you've been in College Station, at least to your memory, since back in 2006. I had a chance to cover you in your bid for president, or for president, I should say, for governor. You could be president.
President is too hard. Governor,
you know a couple of
governor's easy. Yeah.
But Jesse Ventura was alongside you at that time as well.
Yeah, Jesse had what I think very few politicians have today is, I mean, he's become kind of a conspiracy theorist and so forth, but Jesse had a touch. You know, he had a gift for relating to the kids, and that was great to see. And he was really very innocent, Jesse was, and I had to constantly tell him wrestling is real, politics is fixed.
Exactly.
That's the deal.
As a fan of both, I can agree with that sentiment completely. That run in 2006, what did that tell you about maybe Texas, about politics? Did that give you a further insight that you didn't have before?
Yeah, it taught me that politics is a fundamentally dishonest profession, that the Crips and the Bloods pretty well control everything.
And the Democrats and the Republicans,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah, they do, and especially in an independent-minded state like Texas, that's a sad thing, a sad commentary. Also, the Occupy group, I think, had a good point when they started out, if they'd only articulated it, which is that the one thing that greed and money have destroyed in our country is our political system. That almost completely controls the political system. So the only advice I would give at this point is, I'm looking at Jesse, that beard, is never re-elect anybody. That's always a good idea. Stay independent if you can, you know, and if I ever ran again, it would be as an independent.
And would you run again?
Well, it's a thought. I am one of the last few nails that hasn't been hammered down in our country, and I encourage young people keep true to the dreams of thy youth. You know, I'm always saying, of course, after Rick Perry's recent run for president, I think my image has improved enormously, and of course, it's made George W. look like Thomas Jefferson. So, I mean, people always used to say, "I voted for you, Kinky." Now they're saying, "You should have won, Kinky.
Sure,
you should have won."
Talking about Rick Perry, you've said that he kind of took a little bit of a beating, maybe in some cases unnecessarily, when he was running.
Well, I think he's a nice guy. I just think that it's created a very strange political dynamic in Texas. Now we have the Aggies and the Blondes are all telling Rick Perry jokes, you know, so things have changed. And I'm still keeping my last will and testament. When I die, I'm to be cremated, and the ashes are to be thrown in Rick Perry's hair. I'm staying with that.
Is that even if he says no, that they have to be in that case? Because I don't know if he would want that necessarily.
I don't think Rick would mind at this point. It's just it's another example, though, of the fact that he could snap his fingers and get $17 million, and America kind of took the measure of him, and they didn't like what they saw.
You voted for Barack Obama in 2008, is that correct?
And I'm uncommonly regretful ever since, yes. I saw a good candidate, and that's a lesson I don't think Rick made clear, and he should have, which is who wins the debate and who's a good candidate has nothing to do with who can be a leader or be a statesman. Because if Obama were to give a fireside chat, the fire would go out. You know, this guy, he's perpetually behind the curve. And to be fair, so are almost all our elected leaders today. They will not take a courageous, outrageous stand that goes against what the public thinks. They won't stand by their guns like Truman did. So you see, Truman, of course, fired the most popular general in the world, Douglas MacArthur. He dropped the bomb at Hiroshima. Both history has proved to be pretty righteous decisions. And the Democratic Party has gone from Harry Truman to Harry Reid.
Right. As a person who leans left, obviously with an independent mind, but I think you would agree that you have a left-leaning, and you've got a president that you're not happy with, and a Republican field that's fighting it out right now. Is there anybody that you could find support for?
See, the way I see it is we got a president who's raised $1 billion and has lost his soul, and the Republicans are jealous of that. You know, they say we'd like to do that too. And George Washington would be appalled at what's happened to this little town named after him. Texas, 26% of the people voted in the governor's race, at which point we knew we could not win as an independent. And if we'd had mandatory voting like Australia has, it would have been a landslide for us. And if we'd had equal funding like they do in England, that would have made a big difference. So, I mean, yeah, it was fun to do. I'm finding that the best people we have in our country are not getting into politics, and the very worst are getting into politics. The people that were hall monitors when they were kids,
right?
They're still into that sort of thing, and I don't know. It's I wish I could say the future's brighter, but maybe the young people will have something to say. Right now, my definition of politics is still true. Poly means more than one, and ticks are blood-sucking parasites.
And I remember that very vividly from 2006, and
right.
It's 2012.
And I think a lot of people are coming around to that. I mean, they're not, you know, at the time everybody said, oh my God, he's calling them the Crips and the Bloods. Right. That's because they're the bullies of the playground.
We'll have more with Kinky coming up after the break. We're going to talk a little bit more about a sunshinier topic, maybe the music coming up tonight in downtown Bryan that Kinky will bring his unique brand to. But let's stay on politics. We've been asking on Facebook today. We've got the man right here, the man in black, we might say. Do you think that Kinky Friedman has a future in Texas politics? Just because he's here doesn't mean you have to swing one way, but 57%, Kinky. 57 say yes.
I'm sliding out of my chair. Very nice, very heartening. Well, we'll see.
You can go to facebook.com/KBTXmedia and leave your comments as well on this topic. I'm sure some people have been weighing in. Misty says, I would love to have a president like Kinky. I think it would be good for America to chill out and be a little more liberal. Everyone is too uptight and all about controlling everything, and it's not working. Again, facebook.com/KBTXmedia to leave your comments on this topic, and we will get into the music side of things because he is going to be in downtown Bryan tonight for a show at 7:30 at the Village Cafe. We'll talk much more about that and who knows what else. That's coming up next year on First News at 4.
This is First News at 4 with Carla Castillo, Kaylee Carey with weather, and Focus at 4 with Steve Fullhart. This is KBTX News 3 HD. The people you know, the news you trust.